Star Trek's United Federation of Planets is a massive organisation. While the super impressive ships, typically called Enterprise, Titan and Voyager, are all off doing exploration and first contact missions, who is around to ensure that everything from communication relays to waste disposal keeps running smoothly. That, of course, is left to the starships of the California class. With Star Trek Lower Decks airing its 5th and final season this week, we thought it high time to give you one last definitive look at the USS Cerritos, a California class starship in service to Starfleet. While watching this video, share your favourite Star Trek Lower Decks moments with us. Okay, Riker, let's get this party started.
Give me warp in the factor of 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, the jazz.
Welcome to Trek Central, I'm your host Captain Jack. Before we warp into this video, if you want to keep up to date on the latest Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media for daily updates on the Star Trek universe. As always, please answer your thoughts in the comment section below. If you're talking about Star Trek, then we want to hear about it. Okay, engage. The California class starship is 535.2 meters long and 121.3 meters high. The Intrepid class USS Voyager is 344 meters long, while the USS Titan is 453 meters long for comparison. Unlike most of the Federation starships, this class of ships features its registry and nameplate after the bridge module on the primary hull's dorsal surface. 3 variants of the California class starship were designed. The coloured hull markings identify these. Yellow, like the USS Cerritos, is to identify the ship as a second contact engineering starship. This type of starship is assigned to planets and systems that need engineering work done, typically so newly encountered worlds can communicate with the Federation. Blue-hulled California class ships are typically deployed to locations which need medical expertise. Finally, the red-hulled ships are typically used by Starfleet for moving around ambassadors and more command-level responsibilities. The ships of the California class have at least 20 decks, with a top speed of warp 8. It could be exceeded with short bursts, but at a risk of severe structural damage. Standard defenses include the usual Starfleet phaser arrays and photon torpedo launchers. Their shield array is capable of auto-repair and is regulated by an isolinear core. Should that core be removed, the shields would drain much faster than usual when under fire. The physical arrangement of the California class consists of a saucer with a pair of nacelles attached directly to the ventral surface via pylons, which each have turbolift access shafts in the most aft section, which runs through the upper section of the nacelles into the small engineering section mounted between them, which is connected by 2 smaller pylons. This section contains the navigation deflector, main engineering, and of course, the warp core. The core has an emergency ejection system, which requires 2 senior or authorized personnel with keycards to initiate. This feature appeared to be the standard on Federation starships of the late 24th century. For example, the Intrepid class USS Voyager was fitted with a core ejection system. The class warp engine incorporated inverted plasma distributors, which is believed to cause the sound of the engines to be slightly higher pitch. However, others maintain the unique sound is caused by the vibrations in the dilithium disbursement manifold.
Security to deck 11. Something is very wrong down here.
11 decks make up the saucer section, and among the notable shipboard facilities include Cetacean Ops, crewed by at least 2 Dolphin personnel. Unconventionally, the main bridge is not on Deck 1, but rather on Deck 2. It sports a layout evocative of a Galaxy class, featuring a captain's chair flanked by a pair of chairs for the first officer and another support officer. The ops and helm stations are ahead of the command chairs, and the standing tactical station is behind them. Environment, Mission Ops and Engineering 2 are situated across the rear of the bridge, between the turbolift and ready room doors. Several more stations are situated across the sides of the bridge if needed. The first officer's chair has a manual piloting joystick, which comes out from under the right arm for special situations when all hull plating has to be detached to make it through a dangerous asteroid belt and rescue an Urbina class. A main shuttle bay is located in the secondary hull, facing aft. 2 additional shuttle bays are on either side after the saucer rim, spanning decks 5 and 6, with shuttle storage deeper into deck 6. Auxiliary craft comprise at least 5 Type 6A shuttles and 4 Argo-type ground vehicles, stored in decks 5 and 7 adjacent to the shuttle bays. There are several repair bays, at least on the Cerritos, with bay 5 on deck 11. Being the engineering field, it would make sense that they had extensive repair facilities, and on the science-based side, potentially more sensor suites or laboratories. The California class would also support a captain's yacht, which was located in a special separate bay on the ship. The class is known to have 8 transporter rooms on various decks, a sick bay, and a chief medical officer office located on deck 8. The brig has 3 holding cells fitted with force fields that can withstand a Type 2 phaser set to kill. Crew quarters are located unusually on Deck 1 and more on Deck 4. Lower deckers have barrack-style quarters which line the walls of the aft portion of the ship. A window overlooks the engineering section and nacelles, giving a pretty view whilst at warp, unless you have some sort of energy-sucking alien attached, of course. Each bunk is recessed into the wall with its retractable compartment. These are known to be on Deck 11. The California-class starship was active in service with the Federation and Starfleet by the 2380s. However, the ship class has been in service for quite some time. Mainly it was stated that the ships of the class had started to fall apart and break down due to their extensive age. It is unclear how long the California class was in service. Some suggest it could be the very early 24th century, while others suggest it could have even been the late 23rd century. Ultimately, no data is available at the moment. Perhaps the most well-known of the class was the USS Cerritos, NCC 75567, commanded by Captain Carol Freeman. It has an Operations Gold hull marking from the aft thirds of a dorsal saucer, circling the centre of a primary hull, mirrored on the underside, and a sizable coloured panel in the ventral of a secondary hull. It is usually tasked with engineering-based missions. While all of the Cali class share the same hull markings, every ship has additional markings, likely making them visually distinguishable. In 2381, the Cerritos was nearly destroyed when she responded to a distress call from a sister ship, the USS Solvang. Warping into a debris field, the ship collided with pieces of a destroyed Solvang before shields were raised. This damaged decks 3, 15, and 20. The Packlead were in the process of harvesting the wreckage of a Solvang, then quickly turned their attention to the Cerritos, trapping him in a tractor beam and physically attaching binding arms, or grapplers, to their port nacelle and pylon, ripping it free. Luckily, the USS Titan was nearby and moseyed it on over, quickly saving the crippled ship and crew from destruction.
Red alert! A Packland party and I wasn't invited?
It's about time you showed up, Will.
Mariner, this makes us even.
You know Riker?
The USS Rubido, NCC 12109, whose CEO is Captain Dayton. This ship has the same pattern just in Command Red, and is primarily used for ambassadorial type missions. The Rubido was supposed to rendezvous with the Cerritos, but never arrived on schedule. The Cerritos, under the temporary command of Amina Ramsey, found the Rubido adrift in space. She had been invaded by a space entity that fed on energy. When power was restored, the entity began to consume the ship. Ramsey and her away team were able to evacuate the captain, Dayton, and her crew before the entire ship was consumed, resulting in the birth of a space vessel lifeform. The rescued Captain Dayton later went on to command the newly launched USS Solvang. Yeah, that lasted long.
Warp now!
In the later stages of 2381, Vice Admiral Les Buenamengo advocated for the decommissioning of a California-class line of starships. He wanted to replace them with a newly created Texas-class, a line of automated starships. Captain Freeman of the Cerritos managed to convince Starfleet Command that the California class of ships is still worth the effort. In your typical Starfleet Admiral style, Vice Admiral Buenamengo would go rogue and order the USS Aledo, the lead ship of the Texas class, to destroy the Cerritos. The AI would go rogue, killing the Admiral and attacking Douglas Station. The Texas class ships would link up, but thankfully, Beckett Mariner of the Cerritos had managed to rally all other active California class ships to work together to aid the Cerritos and stop the Aledo and her sister ships. This was a success. Starfleet Command kept the Cerritos active and the rest of the California class. It appears the ship earned a reputation, as in 2384, the Doctor referred to his young shipmates as dysfunctional like the Cerritos crew members. On one occasion, the Cerritos was referred to as the Enterprise of California-class starships. The Cerritos would play a major role in the Nova Fleet crisis. The ship was left under the command of acting Captain Boimler, where she would open a hole in Nova Fleet's Trinar shield, just so the captain's yacht could get through and rescue Mariner. By the 2380s, Starfleet had commissioned at least 30 California-class starships. Some had been destroyed though. The California class was inspired by showrunner Mike McGann's love of the Miranda-class USS Reliant and the Galaxy-class USS Enterprise D. As such, the idea of mixing both ships together was a visual inspiration for the California class. Did you know, every single ship of the California class is named after a city from the state of California? These include Alhambra, Anaheim, Burbank, Carlsbad, Cerritos, Culver City, Eureka, Fresno, Inglewood, Merced, Manchester, Oakland, Pacific Palisades, Redding, Riverside, Rubido, Sacramento, San Clemente, San Diego, San Jose, Santa Monica, Sherman Oaks, Solvang, Vacaville, Vallejo, and the West Covina. Yep, I definitely butchered some of those names there, but I'm not from LA, so you know, sorry if it offends you. Anyway, There are likely more that we don't know of. Additionally, the shuttles attached to the starships of the California class are named after national parks, like Yosemite. Early concepts for the Cerritos featured it as a Galaxy-class ship named San Diego, which would later become the Cali class's sister ship. To McMahon, the Miranda class looks tough. It looks like a threat and is almost as good as the Enterprise, but it isn't. He wanted something that made him feel that, but screamed that it wasn't as crucial as the capital ships that we know. He wanted the Cerritos, and by extension the California class, to feel kit-bashed, like if you dropped the Miranda model and reassembled it quickly. You could make a California ship. You know, I'm almost tempted to try that now. According to the former Eagle Moss Hero Collector magazine collection, the class, or at least the Cerritos, was launched in 2245. This is potentially a typo, as I doubt even these ships would be in service for nearly 140 years. The magazine also originally stated that the class was over 700 meters long. This has since been marked as a mistake. If you want to command a California class vessel, then the ship class is playable in the MMO video game of Star Trek Online. It's listed as a California class Miracle Worker utility cruiser, and was released in 2022. So, what do you think of a California class starship in the Star Trek universe? Are you excited for the final season of Lower Decks, or do you wish we'd got on more adventures? Do let me know. If you want to keep up to date on the latest Star Trek news, lore, and more, then hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media or join our community Discord server. For now, I've been Captain Jack, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Live long and prosper, my friends.